Welcome to the Deep Dive, the show that cuts through the noise and gets straight to the most important insights from the research that matters.
And today, we're definitely diving into a big one.
Absolutely. That big question. Is generative AI going to reshape our jobs completely? Maybe even replace them? Or is it, just going to be another tool in the box?
It's everywhere, isn't it? The buzz is huge. But what's actually happening when people use these things day to day?
Exactly. So instead of just guessing or relying on predictions, we're going deep into actual data.
We are. We've got this really fascinating study from Microsoft Research. They analyzed a massive amount of data.
How massive are we talking?
200,000 conversations.
Yeah.
Anonymized, of course,
Okay.
between real users and Microsoft Bing Copilot.
Okay, 200,000, that's substantial. So our mission today for you listening is to pull out the key nuggets from this study.
Yeah, what are people really using AI for
Right.
now? And importantly, how well is it working out?
And what does it actually mean for different jobs? Not just forecasts, but, based on this real usage. We want to give you that shortcut to being genuinely informed.
Okay, so let's set the scene a bit.
Right.
The speed at which people have started using generative AI is, well, it's pretty wild.
How fast?
Nearly 40% of Americans already using it.
Right.
For work or just at home.
40%, that's huge.
It is. And get this, it's faster growth than the personal computer saw. Faster than the internet.
Wow, faster than the internet.
Yeah.
That really says something. With that kind of speed, though, is there a risk people are maybe jumping in too fast? Using it in ways that aren't super helpful yet? Did the study touch on that?
Well, that's exactly what looking at how they use it helps us understand. And the method here is really key.
Okay.
Microsoft Research, they didn't just glance at it. They analyzed these 200,000 conversations, anonymized, privacy safe, all from Bing Copilot use in the U.S. over 9 months in 2024.
Right.
And then they classified every interaction using the ONET database.
OneNet, remind us what that is.
Yeah. It's basically the standard U.S. system for describing jobs. Breaks them down into specific work activities, like a super detailed map of what people actually do.
Got it. So real conversations linked to real work activities, not just surveys. Okay, so let's get to the core insight. You mentioned this distinction they found.
Yes, this is crucial. They drew a clear line between the user goal, what the person is trying to achieve, and the AI action, what the AI actually does in response.
And I'm guessing those two aren't always the same thing.
You got it. That's where it gets really interesting. This study gives a great example.
Okay.
Say a user wants to figure out how to print something. Their user goal is maybe operate office equipment.
Makes sense.
But the AI's action, it might be something like train others to use equipment because it gives detailed step-by-step instructions.
So the user wants to do the task, but the AI is teaching them how to do it.
Precisely. It's providing the knowledge, the guidance, not, hitting print itself.
That's a subtle difference, but yeah, it feels pretty significant. Why is that asymmetry so important for thinking about AI's role? Does it show a limitation or just a different way of working?
Definitely more a different way of working. And the data shows this difference, this asymmetry. It's really common.
How common?
Think about it like two lists. User tasks, AI actions. In 40% of the chats, those lists were completely different, disjoint.
40%.
And even more striking, in 96% of conversations, there were more unique activities happening on each side than were shared. The AI wasn't just doing one user task.
96%. Okay, that's way higher than I'd have guessed. So it's not just a simple tool doing exactly what you asked.
Not usually, no. It often acts differently, maybe in a supporting role, an advisory role, more like an enabler than a direct replacement for the action.
That really shifts the perspective. So knowing this dynamic, what are people trying to do? What were the most common user goals popping up in the data?
Well, three main areas stood out. Number one, gathering information.
Okay. Like research.
Exactly. Things like gather information, obtain information, maintain knowledge, even just read documents. Basically, using AI as a super fast research assistant.
Makes sense. What else?
Writing was huge. People asking for help to develop content or write material, emails, reports, you name it.
Okay, info gathering and writing. And the third.
Communicating with others. Things like provide information, provide assistance, maybe explain technology or explain regulations, helping people formulate how to share knowledge.
So users are using AI to get info, create info, and share info.
Got it.
Now flip it. What was the AI most often doing? The AI actions.
The AI was very often acting in a service role to the human user.
Sure.
Its main actions were things like providing information and assistance, writing, teaching, and advising. The study flags specific action verbs, IWAs they called them.
Individual work activities.
Right. Verbs like respond, provide, present, assist. That was the AI side. Okay, so it sounds very synergistic. Humans use AI to gather, process, share info. The AI helps by gathering, explaining, communicating to the human. It's a loop.
It really is.
But usage is one thing. How successful were these interactions? Did people actually find it helpful? The study looked at that too, right?
It did, yeah. And this is fascinating. They measured success in a couple of ways.
How?
User feedback, the classic thumbs up, thumbs down, and also an AI model they trained to classify if the task seemed complete from the conversation.
Okay, and the results. Was Copilot actually useful for these common tasks?
Generally, yes. People seem to find it helpful overall. Most common activities got 50% or more positive feedback.
50% or more. That's pretty good. Were there areas where it really shone?
Definitely. The most positive feedback came for writing and editing text, doing research, and interestingly, evaluating or buying goods.
Ah, okay. So drafting things, research AI is pretty solid there now. What about where it struggled? Where did it get the thumbs down?
The tougher spots seem to be complex data analysis and visual design, like charts or complex spreadsheets.
Exactly. Things like create visual designs or displays or analyze scientific or applied data. Those got the worst feedback. So it suggests AI is, better at the words in research than deep analysis or visuals, at least currently.
That makes sense. It feels like those require more nuance, maybe.
And there was another interesting finding about satisfaction.
Oh, yeah.
People were less happy when the AI directly tried to give them support or advice compared to when it helped them prepare to give support or advice to someone else.
Huh. So it's better at helping me help someone than helping me directly.
Seems that way in some cases. Better as an enabler for the human to do the final step.
That is subtle, but really important. Okay, so that's success. What about this impact scope idea? What does that tell us?
Right, impact scope. It's basically asking, what fraction of the work involved in a specific activity can Copilot actually help with or perform?
Okay.
And a key takeaway here, AI generally helps users with a wider range of their work, a greater fraction than it can perform directly itself.
So the user goal scope is usually higher than the AI action scope.
Exactly. Which, again, it paints this picture of AI as an augmentation tool. It extends what humans can do more than it just takes over specific actions.
That really reframes it, not just replacement, but partnership almost. So what activities had high scope? Where can AI have a broad impact?
On the user side, gathering information and writing, again, high scope there.
And on the AI action side?
Providing information, advising, explaining, those were high scope for the AI's actions.
And low scope, still data analysis and visuals.
Yep, those again. But also activities that involved interacting with external people, things like confer with clients. Seems the human touch is still key there.
Okay, this idea of AI assisting more than replacing, it leads right to the big question. Jobs. What does all this mean for different occupations? When you combine usage, success, scope, this AI applicability score they calculate.
An applicability score. It tries to bring it all together.
So which jobs are most in the spotlight according to this score?
The major categories with the highest scores were sales and related jobs, computer and mathematical, and office and administrative support.
Okay, knowledge work, communication-heavy roles. That seems logical.
Pretty much what you'd expect, yeah.
Can you give us some specific examples, maybe some surprising ones from the top list?
Sure. Right at the top were interpreters and translators.
Yep.
Made sense, right, given the tech. About 98% of their work activities overlapped with common Copilot tasks.
Wow, 98%. Okay, that's high.
But others were high too. Historians, writers and authors, customer service reps, even CNC tool programmers.
Hold on. Interpreters, writers, historians. Okay.
Yep.
But customer service reps and sales reps were high too, you said. Why them? That doesn't feel like the same category as, say, a historian.
That's a really good point. And the reason is AI's strength in communicating information. Even if you don't think of it as traditional knowledge work, a huge part of those jobs is activities like provide information to customers. And AI is good at that.
So it's the communication component of those jobs that makes them highly applicable.
Exactly. It shows how broad these AI capabilities really are, touching jobs you might not immediately think of as AI ready.
That is a useful reframe. So who's on the other end? Which jobs are least impacted, at least by this kind of AI, the language models?
Yeah, important distinction. For LLMs, it's roles needing a lot of physical interaction. Operating machines, manual labor.
Like
Think nursing assistants, dishwashers, roofers, truck drivers, phlebotomists. Jobs where the core tasks are physical, hands-on.
Right. But you're saying other AI, like robotics, could affect those roles down the line.
Absolutely. This study is specifically about language-based AI like Copilot.
Okay, now let's talk about something that might challenge assumptions. Money. How does this AI applicability connect to wages?
Yeah, this was one of the really striking findings, I thought. You might guess AI would hit high-paying jobs hardest, right? Complex tasks.
That's often the narrative, yeah.
But the study found a really weak positive correlation. Almost none. Just 0.07 between wages and AI applicability.
0.07, that's tiny.
It is. So what it means for you listening is AI's impact isn't just clustering at the top end. Some high-employment jobs that tend to have lower wages, think sales, office support,
What?
they actually showed high AI applicability.
So it's not just automating the fancy stuff, it's reshaping work across the board wage-wise.
Seems like it. It's
Yeah.
much broader than maybe people thought.
What about education levels? Is there a stronger link there?
There's a link, yeah. Jobs needing a bachelor's degree tended to have higher applicability scores than jobs needing less education.
Okay.
The average score was about 0.27 for degree jobs versus 0.19 for others. And the difference was bigger on the AI action side where the AI is doing more.
But still not a massive gap, and you said there's a wide range?
Exactly. There's a huge range across all education levels.
Yeah.
So AI's influence isn't only in highly educated roles, it's just maybe a bit more concentrated there for now.
And how did these real-world findings stack up against what people predicted before we had this kind of data?
That's another interesting point. They compared their results to earlier predictive studies, like one from Ellen Du and others in 2024.
And did the predictions hold up?
Largely, yes. Quite strongly, actually. The correlation was high, arguably 0.73 at the occupation level, and even higher, 0.91 at the broadest job category level.
Wow. So the general direction of travel, the types of jobs likely to be affected, those predictions were pretty accurate.
It seems so. The real-world usage is broadly confirming the direction, which gives us more confidence in those kinds of models, I think.
Okay, so the big picture seems consistent. But let's talk caveats, limitations. No study is perfect, right? This isn't the final word on everything.
Absolutely not. And it's crucial to remember that. First off, AI isn't doing all the work activities for any job. Even where there's high overlap, task completion isn't 100%, and the scope is often moderate, not total automation.
Right. It's assistance, not replacement mostly.
This was just one LLM Copilot. A very popular one, yes, but other AI platforms, maybe specialized ones, might show different patterns.
Good point. And there must be challenges just doing this kind of research.
Oh, for sure. Like distinguishing work use from leisure use in chat logs. Is asking for a recipe part of a chef's job or just someone making dinner? It's tricky.
Yeah, I can see that.
And the ONET database itself, while it's the standard, it has limits. It's U.S. focused. It might lag behind how jobs are changing right now, and it doesn't always capture that glue between tasks.
The glue.
Yeah, the human judgment, the empathy, the creativity that connects all the listed activities into a coherent job. OneNet lists tasks, not necessarily the holistic skill.
That's a really important point. So this brings up a big question. If AI can automate a task, does that automatically mean job losses? History sometimes tells a different story.
It really does. The classic example everyone uses is ATMs and bank tellers.
Right. ATMs automated handling cash.
A core teller task. But what happened? The number of tellers actually went up for a while.
Because banks opened more branches and tellers shifted focus.
Exactly. Lower costs meant more branches, and tellers moved towards sales, customer relationships, things the machine couldn't do, more valuable interactions.
So automation of a task doesn't necessarily equal job destruction. It can mean transformation, new tasks, evolved roles.
Precisely. Or even entirely new roles we haven't thought of yet. It's not a simple A to B equation. Automate task, lose job.
Yeah, the downstream effects are complicated.
Very. And this study is about usage patterns, the interaction now. It's not predicting those complex long-term economic shifts, which are often really counterintuitive.
So this deep dive, looking at this real-world Copilot data, it really gives you listening some solid ground, concrete insights into how AI is actually interacting with work right now. It helps cut through some of the hype and speculation.
Definitely. You get a clearer picture of current reality, not just future possibilities.
So as we wrap up, here's something for you to think about building on all this.
Yeah, a final provocative thought. How will you use these AI capabilities as they evolve?
How might you redefine your own work, adapt your skills, and maybe even more excitingly, what completely new kinds of work or even new jobs might emerge from all this that we can't even imagine today?